Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Now in Massachusetts, you can get your standard driver's license regardless of immigration status. Gather all required documents: proof of identity and date of birth, proof of Massachusetts residency, and proof of Social Security status. Next, register at mass.gov/myrmv for your learner's permit. When you pass, schedule your road test at mass.gov/myrmv and prepare at mass.gov/road test. Register today.
Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Tuesday, August 15th, 2023. And I just realized that my camera is a little bit tilted, but we're going to work it out. Let's see if we can get over here, because y'all know I'm kind of symmetrically OCD type and want to be right in the middle. But we are in the middle of Testimony Tuesday this morning. Maybe we should call it Thumbprint Tuesday. That might be an idea for a later date to talk about how important it is to build wealth. But this morning, it is Testimony Tuesday. As I've mentioned before, from now until December, we are looking at changing programming. And this month, we are definitely highlighting Black-owned businesses. I know the spouse of my guest, I've seen him in community. They have a thumbprint in the community in doing things. And one of their biggest thumbprints is helping Black and brown people, all people, but I believe I'm right in saying that there is a focus on Black and brown people, marginalized folks, going into wealth via home purchase, via buying a home. But with that, that is a lucrative field to be in. And with a lot of their revenue, I always see them giving back in community, sponsoring different events. And there's one coming up on Saturday. And for those of you that are just joining real quick, I know sometimes you take a screenshot if you can't make it on. I'm going to bring my guest in a second, but this is what we're talking about this morning, along with a few other things. And so I am honored to have Joanna Edwards coming into the room with us this morning. For those of you that do always into the Java Cafe, the mothers and charter members and whatnot, go in the comments and welcome her. I can guarantee you, similar to yet, and it's just dope that we're starting off Black Business Month with Black women. Our queen from yesterday, Toya Washington from the Masters Tools. And today we have Joanna Edwards from Thumbprint Realty, but Thumbprint Foundation. Did I get it right? Get me together. Get me together this morning. How are you?
I am well. I am so excited to be here today. So thank you so much for having me on your platform. I'm so excited.
I'm excited for you to be here. As I've said, I'm not unfamiliar with Thumbprint's work. I know folks like Taylor, Andre that works with your husband, Alex, as well. He's a member of Boston While Black. And so I see him at events in community. And before we get into that, though, tell us a little bit about yourself, because in our pre-conversation, I did sense that you were very serious about building wealth in our community. You present as someone that understands, knows, may have lived some of the challenges that face us in closing that, wealth gap. And so please introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, and to end out, to kind of stay in the theme of Testimony Tuesday, name one thing or area that maybe you are maybe a little bit of a struggle, but still accomplishing. And that being what, maybe name a test and I don't know, something like that. But welcome, Joanne, and please say hello to the folks.
Hello, the Java community. Thank you, Jimmy, for having me. Again, my name is Joanna N. Edwards. I consider myself a mompreneur. What does that mean? A mom who is an entrepreneur. I'm an investor, business owner, homeowner, wife, mother. And so with all things encompassing in that meaning. I like to be able to empower other women to know that it is possible to do it all in some cases, with some limitation, but it is definitely possible. I feel that real estate changed my life, and I will say that. I know it's Testimony Tuesday, but I will start off saying that real estate changed my life. Home ownership changed my life. Back in 2015, I had the opportunity to purchase my first investment property before marriage after meeting my fiance or boyfriend at the time. And my passion for real estate, my passion for home ownership comes from the actual experience from owning a home, right? And just being able to leverage home ownership and to see all things that are possible, not because I'm a real estate agent, because that came on later on in life, but I think so many people, Black and brown people, just don't know the opportunities that come along with home ownership and being able to leverage home ownership. And so just to kind of, I'll be bouncing around, but they're all relative. So, and back in 2016, my husband and I started Thumbprint Realty, which is a Black-owned, independently owned real estate brokerage in Boston. We are now 45 agents deep. And in 2017, at the time, we had maybe about 8 agents, and they all came together and said, we want to actually just do a backpack giveaway. We want to sponsor a backpack giveaway.
Wait, hold on. Don't go to the event yet. I want you to stay a little bit longer in the home ownership thing.
Okay.
Go to the event, but let's get every jewel that we can get. Well, you know what? I'm sorry. I'll just say you.
It's all relative. Trust me. I will. I have a plan. I have a vision. I have a vision for this.
Go ahead. You co-hosted this morning. Go ahead. It's all you this morning.
I'm with you. You might have me come back next week. I'm telling you, Jimmy. But back in 2017, the group of agents decided to, just sponsor a backpack giveaway at the time. And I want to shout out Don Core Miners. He's with Don Firearms. He was a Boston public teacher at the time. He had given us about maybe 150 bags. We had decided to just give away 70 at the time. We saw the impact that the community had in terms of being able to receive these bags. And we're like, well, we could do this on a bigger scale. So I decided to start a 501c3 nonprofit, Thumbprint Cares, where we can actually sponsor events, get donations, and do this on a bigger magnitude. Now, the reason that you're like, okay, a real estate brokerage wanting to do a backpack giveaway, there is so much power and knowledge behind real estate. And not just real estate. There's so much power in being able to gather people together in one space and to give them knowledge. Knowledge is power. And we felt that if we're able to bring all these people together, what can we do with the fact that we have their attention? What can we place in their hands to be able to let them know, like, listen, a lot of the people who are coming to get these backpacks don't know about financial literacy. They don't know about home ownership. They don't know about all the programs the city of Boston has to offer them. There's a lot of seniors who live in this community that don't know about senior help that the Boston Home Center has to offer. So we felt that the mission of Thumbprint Cares was to empower and to educate our Black and brown folks in the community about how to close the wealth gap through home ownership, through financial literacy, and through education. And so just bringing it back to my passion to real estate, my husband and I with Thumbprint Realty, we use our platform to educate in many facets, whether it's through our conferences, whether it's through our workshops, but primarily through Thumbprint Cares. I'll tell you one thing, a funny story. Back in 2018, we hosted our Christmas toy giveaway at Freedom House. I don't know if you know where Freedom House is in Roxbury. Yep. It was 50 degrees. It was like 60 degrees in December. I'll never forget this day. There were lines wrapped around Blue Hill Lab, over 600 families. 600 families. Now, to think that people were coming out for toys, wrapped toys in December, when you have a group of people, a mass of people in one space, and you have their attention, that is the perfect opportunity to put valuable information in their hands.
No, go ahead. I'm agreeing with you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And so when someone asks, wow, what's the initiative behind Thumbprint Cares when you host events? Yes, it's great to give away backpacks. Yes, it's great to give away bikes. Yes, it's great to be able to give them tools for success to start school. But it's also important to educate the parents who are bringing these children. And prior to COVID, in 2019, we're hosting monthly workshops. We would have the city of Boston come out, the Boston Home Center, talk about down payment assistance programs. We had estate attorneys come out to talk about estate planning, how to start a will, how to write a will, how to write a trust, Roth IRAs, how to budget, how to financially plan, how it does not cost 20% to purchase a home, and even better, This year, which I'm extremely proud of, I have a gentleman from a prestigious independent private school. The tuition is $57,000 a year coming out to tell Black and brown folks in our community that they have millions of dollars to provide to people in our community to have their Black and brown children attend these prestigious schools at no cost to them. Now, it's important for us to put this information out there because this is not information that's readily available to folks. We consider ourselves the bridge to provide information. So there's this secret knock, right? And I heard this term from a city council, I'm not gonna say her name, who's running right now. And the secret knock is basically information that people have, and it's only through having someone in the city hall, or it's having a friend that works with a friend who knows a friend. And it's having access to information that people like us who live in the community don't have access to. And we want to remove that secret knock. We want to eliminate that secret knock. We want to be the bridge to be able to provide people with information that will not only create generational wealth, but put them in places to have access to all the things that affluent communities have access to. And so when I think about Thumbprint Cares, when I think about Thumbprint Realty and all the things that we stand for, it's about empowering and educating our community and bringing information to them that they wouldn't have access to, in a nutshell.
Okay. Yeah. Listen. So one, we definitely have a common mission of access information. This platform started for access information, and so seeing you all do that through the model of taking, and as I said, and I'm sure you'll be honest that real estate is a lucrative career, and so one thing that often sometimes in our community is said about Black and brown folks that quote unquote make it and do things, oh, they forget and they don't come back and they don't give back. And I think it's so important to highlight the fact that you all are very intentional. And to be very honest, according to the story, it wasn't you and Alex. It was the staff that came and said, hey, we want to do this. And of course, you guys jumped in and supported it and then, took leadership with it. But that's why the power is always, with all due respect to leadership, the power is always with the people. But leadership is then supposed to step in, take the idea to help other people and then push it along. You mentioned, politics and whatnot. So I just wanted to throw that little nugget out there as well. And so let's talk about specifically the event, and then we can get back into why it's important. And I love the notion of when you have a captive audience, sharing information and education while they're there. If it's minimum from flyers in a bag to, someone speaking at the event and they're hearing it while folks are waiting in line, folks are giving out information. That I love that model, right? What's your background? Because you sound like you used to do outreach or organizing or something.
So my background is actually in human services. So I worked as an advocate for victims of crime for about 15 years. Just my educational background is in criminal justice and psychology, and I got my post-grad in management. So I worked for the district attorney's office advocating for victims of crime, and then transcended into victims of domestic violence. So I advocated a lot for victims of domestic violence. I worked a lot in the state house. I worked in the court system and supporting families. So I've been working in the marginalized communities for a very, very long time. And so I do have a soft spot for that. In conjunction with real estate. And even in my bio, you'll see that, that background helped to transcend the work that I do in real estate. I don't think
advocacy.
Advocacy at its best. And it doesn't have to be an either or. I can still support a marginalized community, even being in a lucrative field. And I think educating folks to make them understand that it is not unachievable. It is not unachievable. And even to take it a step further with home ownership, right? We were recently, I think about a month and a half ago, we had Mayor Wu do a press conference at our office.
Yes, I saw that. Yes.
To celebrate a closing of a voucher holder who became a homeowner. Now, many people do not know that you can have a Section 8 voucher and become a homeowner and transition that into homeownership. These are the programs that the city of Boston is trying to push, and people just don't know about it. Now, to take it a step further, there's only been 5 of those Section 8 vouchers in the city of Boston that have closed. and 3 of those with Thumbprint Realty.
So let me, can I ask you this though? Are you aware of the potential of where it should be at max capacity based on the budget available, blah, 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 blah? You're saying 5. Are you aware of where their, sort of cap is?
Well, I don't want to say there's a cap because they do have a budget, but
Right,
it should
right.
be more. It should be more than
It
5.
should be more
It
than
should
5.
be more than 15, and maybe even should be more than 20. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It can. I mean, the city of Boston, and I think the message that Mayor Wu was trying to convey is that we have the funds. We have the funds, and we want to use the power of our voices to be able to let folks know that this program exists. And that's kind of where I stand with that. And I said, this is such important information. Homeownership seems so far-fetched for some folks that some folks on vouchers have no idea that they have the capacity to turn their voucher into a home. And so I think it's extremely important for us to be able to use the platform that we are given to not only advocate, but to put the information out there. So we celebrated that client, and there were other clients that came before her, and then many more, hopefully, to come after her. But that's just one example, And it's so funny because those types of situations or those types of transactions are not easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Either from the lender side, even from the realtor side. It's not a, so to speak, quick check, right? It's not like, hey, you just find a home. There's a lot that goes into it, a lot of advocacy, a lot of hand-holding, a lot of education, a lot of red tape, and it takes a lot of diligence. It takes a lot of diligence to be able to do those transactions. So I think that's really the high note that really, touched the mayor as far as, wow, like, your office has closed 3 of these transactions, and there's only been 5 so far that's closed. What are you guys doing so differently to getting to the finish line?
Mm-hmm.
Right? How are you advocating? How are you supporting these clients? And I even go on my Instagram. I had a whole Instagram post about it. Like, folks, there is money out there. City of Boston has money out there. There is money for those who have a Section 8 vouchers. Here is the process. Please call me and I will walk you through the.
What's the number? Because folks, that they take advantage of the information. We could put a little banner up real quick. What's the number?
Well, I'll give my number. 857-919-1330. 857-919-1330. But again, that's just one example of the information that we try to put out there, and any opportunity that we have to get a group of people together, whether it's via social media, via our events. These are the platforms that we use. It's much bigger than our backpacks. It's much bigger than giving out laptops and bikes. And so to speak on a little bit of what you spoke about too, as far as captivating an audience and being intentional about the material that we provide, we're also intentional about the vendors that come to our events. So many people, particularly this year, many vendors reached out like, hey, can we get a table? Can we get a table? And I have to step back and think, is the information that you're providing valuable? Is the information that you're providing aligned with our mission? Are people going to leave with more than they came in with? Right? And so that's really the initiative that we're focused on, and being very intentional about picking the vendors that are going to be sitting at our event to be providing information. If you're captivating an audience, if I'm bringing people together to benefit you over the long run, is it going to benefit them as well?
And I love it, because they're going to go back and report their numbers. We went to this event, Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan. We serve Black and brown people, blah, blah, blah. But are you coming just to get numbers? Or are you coming to really increase numbers within our community, either through wealth, nutrition, whatever information?
Absolutely. One of our sponsors and vendors, Back to Home Healthcare, last year when she attended a backpack giveaway, she was able to provide job applications on site, and I believe 5 PAs were hired at the end of that summer. So employment was provided. This year, as I mentioned to you, I'm so excited to have this independent private school that's going to be speaking to families about the opportunity for their Black and brown children to go to a prestigious, affluent school at little to no cost to them. I can't stress how big that is. And the reason I stress that is because we always talk about, how our public school systems have failed us and how education is so far reached. And we have these, and he told me something that was so critical. He said that these schools, these affluent schools who are, parents of children who are very affluent, they don't spread the word. They only spread the word to their friends because they don't want the word to get out to these particular communities to change the trajectory of the school. This particular school has $7 million of financial aid funding to provide to 80 communities in Massachusetts. They are thriving and want to, and they're like desperate for people in our community. And they're like, how do we get the information out there? How do we get the information out there to let people know that you see a hefty price tag on this tuition? Yes, it's $57,000. What if I told you can have both of your children, Black and brown children, attend this school at little to no cost to you?
And we got to be willing to take advantage of that and not be fearful of, I don't want my kids. I don't want them to get picked on. They can just go right here. They don't have to go way out. There'll be other family members that why they go out there. They think they're too good. Let's just keep it 100, because those are influences often that can seep into a mind of a parent and stop them in a 2-minute decision from going to an info session because someone not as encouraging said something. And so in that vein, let me ask you, by your observation, what are the things that often, and we know poverty, we know life's issues, we know, from folks having, criminal histories to just maybe not having the income, but by your observation, generally speaking, what are the things from a mentality perspective that stop us from stepping into this space of being intentional about obtaining wealth? Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
go.
Negative mindset. I think oftentimes we get in our own way and we're quick to think of the negative first. And that's why there's only $8 in the Black community's net worth and families, because we're so quick to say, nope, not me. Nope, it's a hoax. Nope, it's not true. Nope. And it's like, be open to receiving the information. Be open to receiving the information. It is not fair for us to not take advantage of the opportunity to close the wealth gap. And I have this conversation often with families who don't want to obtain life insurance. So like, I'm not going to obtain life insurance because I don't want anybody to try to kill me for my money. I'm not going to leave any money behind for anybody. If I'm gone, I'm gone, and I'm dying with everything that I have with me. And I feel like wealth needs to travel through generations. And that's how we're going to thrive as a community. And so we need to build wealth while we're still alive so that when we're long and gone, our families can continue to thrive and they can continue to build generational wealth. And I think the mindset that we have is that the dollar stops here. And I think we need to change the mindset in our communities about how we view money, how we view wealth. It's not just about spending money when you're alive. It's about making sure that money outlives your children, your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren. And I think we have a hard time conceptualizing that. Our negative mindset gets in our own way. And knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is power. We have to take that information and we actually have to apply it in real life. And I think I'm so passionate about it because I've lived through and I've witnessed, families who just refuse to just have that mindset in terms of creating generational wealth. And I've also seen families take the information and it be life-changing for them. I didn't grow up from money. My parents purchased a home. They lost their home within 5 years because they weren't educated about adjustable rate mortgages. They weren't knowledgeable about it. No one spoke to them and said, hey, you're getting taken advantage of. And this is how you should be able to get out of the situation. My husband changed 30 families' lives and saved 30 families from losing their homes through educating them about a program that the Common Square neighborhood, I guess it was the
Common Square Neighborhood Association.
Yes.
Common Square Neighborhood Development.
Neighborhood Development.
Neighborhood Development Corporation, that one.
Yeah, they were offering, it was, what types of mortgages were they offering? Oh my gosh, I'm losing the term. Where they were basically able to help you get out of a bad mortgage in terms of like adjustable rate mortgages. Modification. It was a loan modification. They were offering loan modifications where if you were not able to afford your home, they were able to give you a loan modification to give you a second opportunity to save your home. If my parents had that opportunity, they would have still been homeowners today.
Look, I'm gonna just chime in for a minute because your husband is in.
Yeah, loan modification. Yeah, he's probably struggling.
Maybe it's a loan modification.
No modification. And 30 families saved 30 families from losing their homes. And it's the power of education. If we just had people to say, hey, come to our office. We have food. You know, food brings people together. We have food every month. We're going to have someone come in our community and tell you how to obtain and how to create generational wealth, how to write a will, how to build a trust, how to get life insurance, you know, how to get a retirement plan. I think we need to change our mindset of how we view money. I know people who still keep money under their mattresses. They don't believe in bank accounts.
Look, the generational wealth is just saving money under.
Look at that. And I didn't even see that. Look at that.
And listen, let's be honest for those that chime in and be like, oh, no. We're not shaming anyone. We talked about information and education. The truth is some of us have been ignorant. You know, we throw it around, they so ignorant, whatever. No, ignorant just means lack of knowledge. You did not know. So we're not shaming anybody. But when you get this, you said knowledge is power, and then you talked about applied knowledge. I want to take that statement to another point and say knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is impactful. Power is good. Having dynamite sitting there, just sitting there, it's wonderful. But until you push or pull the, anyway, I'm sorry.
Listen.
Yeah, I heard you was going to say you preaching.
This is where the passion comes in, and it's coming from a place, not even frustration, but it's almost like, you know, when you see something and you're like, oh my God, I know this is great, and you're trying to put it in front of somebody. It's like, just take a moment, and you just want to take their face, like, just take a moment to listen to what I'm trying to tell you. Just take a moment to listen to what I'm trying to tell you. That is for you. And even to take it a step further in terms of the information that we put out there, there are people who didn't know that they can roll in their student loans into their mortgage. There are people who didn't know that they can refinance, take equity out of their home and purchase more homes. There are people who didn't know that the city of Boston has money to de-lead their homes, to change their windows, to change their heating system. There are so many programs, and there's money being left on the table.
Oh, no, it's not. It was being left on the table, but folks lighter than you and I have information, and they know.
So why are we not deserving of having the same access to information as everyone else? Why are we not deserving of nice things? Why is wealth being seen as bougie? Why are we feeling like, oh, you're too good if you have money? No, we deserve it. We earned it. We deserve it. So it's not even necessary telling you about how you can obtain something. It's like you have the right, you have the audacity to obtain this wealth. You deserve it. And your children deserve it, and your children's children deserve it. Your children's children deserve it. My husband and I purchased a multi-family home for our 2-year-old son. Mm-hmm. Now, some people may say we're crazy. At the age of 18, our son will have the opportunity to leverage the income that home brings, whether he wants to go to college, whether he wants to pay for college, whether he wants to buy more property, whether he wants to fail as an adult, he has a leg up. There are many people in our community that don't have a leg up. And I'm not ashamed to say I gave my son an opportunity to be ahead, because that's what I'm supposed to do as a parent. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do.
This segment or this piece started from the question of what my grandmother would say is what ails us. And you talked about mentality is everything. Let's own that a lot of us have succumbed to intentional design around supremacy, intentional design around limited access and limited information. But one of the things, and you referred to frustration earlier often, that fine line between passion and frustration, because folks like you and I and others are aware. No. And if you just ding, 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 it would blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And we that mentality. And again, we got to give credence to poverty and the beatdown of life is real. But at some point, especially if you're a parent, something in that maternal or paternal kicks in and says, not just, and I'm going to say something and possibly get in trouble, not just that your baby got the size 4 Jordans on the first day of school. I don't know what the popular now is, but the True Religion, and I don't know, G-Star Raw shirt. No, the priority is for them 16 years from now that they got an option. They have a home. And there's even the piece of people not knowing that as an entrepreneur, if you have a child, you can pay your child up to what, 12,000?
Listen, Jimmy. Absolutely, now you're preaching. Absolutely. And this, yes, and we have to be open to receiving this information, because many people will say it's not me. It's not for me. That's for the other folks.
Yep.
I just know how to work hard. I just know how to go to work and come home. I just know how to provide the bare minimum. And our children and our families deserve more than the bare minimum. My husband's a product of a single mom who worked 3 jobs. She was never home trying to keep her home. We have a lot of children being raised in single parent households. And so this is the demographic, and these are the communities that we're trying to reach, because we want to let people know all of this is attainable. I know a lot of people say it's easier said than done. Please come and receive the information that we're trying to provide, because we want to change the narrative. We want to change the culture. We want to change the mindset. But it has to start with you being able and willing to just listen and to receive the information. That's step 1.
Yep.
To apply the information. And so I know Jaylen Brown just made a comment after receiving his lucrative contract with the Boston Celtics and wanting to create a new Black Wall Street in Boston, wanted to close a generational gap, wanted to close the wealth gap.
Yep.
In Boston. And I'm very curious and also really, really excited to see how he would go about doing that, because it's really important. It's really important for us to understand that wealth is achievable, it's attainable. And it's really, really important for us to understand the steps that we have to take as individuals, as families, to know that where we came from and to not to return there. And I think the cycles need to be broken. The cycles of generational poverty need to be broken and to transcend into generational wealth. I think that's where it all begins. And it begins with mindset, like you mentioned.
I really believe that. And to Thaddeus's point, we were kind of going there when I said that about that term ignorance, but framing ignorance as a subject in a positive way could involve phrases like eager to learn more about, excited to explore, or opening to gaining insights in. This conveys a willingness to expand one's knowledge without focusing on the lack. So absolutely, Unc, thank you for that. I'm sorry, we got so excited about, we haven't really talked about the main reason why your hair came out, whether it was intentional, but let's talk about what's going on Saturday. After all of the teaching and things that you do, one of the things that you're doing is making sure that people have resources and also information. So tell us about the back to school backpack giveaway taking place this Saturday, August 19th, 2023 from 11 to 2 at the Common Square Park, which is on the corner of Talbot and Washington Street. Tell us what folks can expect. Is there entertainment, DJ? Just let us know what's going down on Saturday.
Yes. So we will have pre-stuffed backpacks to give away. And I would like to say thank you to our sponsors showed out this year. Shout out to Norfolk Capital that's donating 10 Chrome laptops to be given away. Thumbprint Realty donating 5 bikes. Back to Home Healthcare donating bikes. We have many other giveaways from hair braiding. We'll be having live haircuts there. We have 2 barbers from Classic Barbers, Classic Cuts that will be there providing haircuts live. We have ice cream that will be provided. We will have a DJ. We will have games. We have a double Dutch competition. I'm old school. I grew up I was born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s, and double Dutch was
Hold on. You was born in the 80s?
I was born in 85. Raised in the 90s. So, yes.
You may be real old right now because I was born in the 70s, but go ahead. But I heard.
I still grew up in the era of double dutch. Listen, I grew up in an era where there was no social media. We were still going outside to play hopscotch, double dutch, recess. Those are the things that I grew up on and that I look forward to. And so double dutch, I'm still a child at heart. I get super excited when it comes to double dutch and to have a double dutch competition. A lot of these kids don't know how to jump rope, don't know how to double dutch. I want to bring that back.
So what time is the double dutch? Because I don't know if you heard, because your boy got some skills and I've been looking for a challenge.
Pull up.
I'll pull up. But I'm right down the street. So
you're right there on Norfolk. So yes. you're walking distance. Pull up. And don't just come for the double dutch. There's going to be entertainment. Like I said, there's so many things happening in our vendors. Like I said earlier, we're so intentional about our vendors. We have Movement Mortgage. We'll have a table there. they will be talking about their mortgage products as down payment assistance. There's so many people out there who think that they still need 20% to put down on a home. There is down payment assistance out there. You don't need to put down so much money. There are city programs that are available to you to be able to help support you in getting a mortgage. Back to Home Healthcare will be there again this year. Like I said, last year she was able to hire 5 PAs. And so providing employment opportunities. We will have a gentleman from the independent private school that I mentioned about. I'm not going to say the location of the school. That's for you guys to come out, to visit, to speak to them personally, to talk about the money that is out there to provide in financial aid to give your child the best education possible. We'll have Girl Scouts of Eastern Massachusetts. Now, Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts are still very important in today's community to teach you life skills.
Leadership skills too.
Leadership skills, life skills. It's still so important to be able to, to instill these skills into our children. And so I think taking the tablets away, putting them out in the community, learning how to start a bonfire, learning how to, be a leader, learning how to, obtain skills of swimming, overcoming fears.
Hold on. Swimming. Black people do swim. I'm gonna leave that right there. Montgomery.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. And I think, just taking it back to our roots, just taking it back to how, we used to provide this information to our children and being able to say, listen, you can join this program and you can grow. I have one of my board members, shout out to Shirley Ballon. She's the one that reached out. She's our community liaison for Thump Break Cares. She grew up a Girl Scout. She is a ferocious leader. And a lot of the skills that she obtained was coming from Girl Scouts. So it's still really, really important to have that presence in our community. We will also have Do It. Do It is an organization that talks about obtaining post-grad degrees in your adulthood. So you can obtain a bachelor's degree in 3 years, an associate's degree in 1.5 years at little to no cost to you. So education is extremely important. Many of us want to obtain higher education, but we're not able to afford it, right? So we will have these vendors there at our event. We'll have Sage Dental there. Sage Dental is a Black-owned dentistry on the top of Washington Street. She will be there as well to talk about the importance of hygiene, of dental hygiene. And this is just to name a few off the top of my head. So again, we are very intentional about who we want our community to have access to the information. And our goal is for our families to leave with a lot more that they came in with. Chase Bank is another great sponsor. There will actually be financial comic books in about 200 of those bags that talk about budgeting, saving, how to open up a bank account. And the dialogue is so cool because it's kids just having conversations in the comic book form. It's very kid friendly. Very, very kid friendly. And so that information will be available to the families, and it's good for children, and it's good for adults. So like I said, we're really intentional about including financial components at our events. Mortgage Before Marriage also is a huge sponsor. I don't know, and I believe you were at the
Hold on, you said Mortgage Before Marriage.
Mortgage Before Marriage. And I believe I saw you, Jimmy, at the TEDx Roxbury talk. Were you at
I didn't make it.
You didn't make it? Damn, you must have a lookalike because I swear I saw you there. Maybe, you know what? I think I saw you at the Boston Wild Black event.
Well, it could have been Eric. Eric, Eric and I can favor each other a little bit.
Okay, so maybe that's what it was. But Mortgage Before Marriage. Mortgage Before Marriage is a published book that my husband, who's a published author and certified TEDx speaker, wrote to talk about the benefits of buying a home before marriage. And we are a product of that. We are a product of that.
And that's that. I want to say it's old school, but my grandmother used to have a saying. She was like, y'all do it different these days. Back in my day, we would meet, get somewhere to live, get married, have a baby. She said today, y'all meet, have a baby, get somewhere to live, and you might get married. And that's no indictment on, how folks are forming families and how they are formed. But at the same time, I think from a mental health standpoint, later on down the line, having a place that's settled and whatever your, orientation is, whatever that spouse, and if y'all are going into properties, both of y'all having a mortgage before marriage, one is where you live and the other one is residual income. And don't let both properties be, what do you call it? What's the term? Multi-income.
This passive income. Are you
Yes.
referring to passive income? Yeah.
Passive income. And so if both of y'all have that, y'all move in with the other, or you take both the passive incomes when y'all get a new place together and rent.
Amen.
Uh,
And that's what it's about. And that's really what it's about. And it's really about leveraging the city of Boston's programs. There are a lot of home ownership programs that if you buy a home together, you're less likely to be able to use that program again if you were using it as an individual. So you take advantage of the city of Boston program. I'll take advantage of the city of Boston program. We both each get a home and we leverage the profit from that home to buy more properties. That's one way to create generational wealth. That's one way to create generational wealth. So real estate is so powerful, and real estate is probably, and my research could be wrong, but the number one most lucrative way to become wealthy. A lot of the people who are at the top of the profit chain, that 1%, all obtain their wealth through real estate. That's why I'm so passionate about it, because it could start with just one home. It could start with just one home. And so with Mortgage Before Marriage, my husband wrote this book to talk about our real life experiences, how we met and purchased property before we got married and was intentional about it. My husband purchased his first investment property at the age of 20. At the age of 20 years old. Talk about being young and obtaining information and applying information and being impactful at the age of 20. I came along a few years later and I purchased my home. Then we got married. Those homes paid for our wedding. Those homes gave us the opportunity to buy more homes for our children, the passive income. So we didn't prioritize the marriage. We prioritized the wealth building aspect of two individuals coming together to build wealth. Because at the end of the day, if we didn't work out, he had his home and I had mine. There was no splitting down the middle. He has his and I had mine. Let's talk about it.
No, that's after dark. That's after dark. But the thing also is, and I'm going to ask you a personal question. The marriage is probably a lot better off, because if we're real about it, a lot of the issues, if you really pull back and peel the onion in a lot of relationships, comes down to finances.
Yes.
Stress may lead to cheating, but the stress is probably from the fact that she's bugging me or he's bugging me about the bills or whatever the construct is, and and I had to ask that when you were transparent about how you all approach this. You probably don't have some of the things that come with the issues around finances when you're married. And so here's go ahead.
No, continue. I'll let you finish.
Alex said, let's go. I just love it. But Alex said,
you hit the nail on the head, because the number 2 reason for divorce is finances. The number 2 reason for divorce is finances. Number 1 is probably cheating. Number 2 is finances.
But let's be honest, not too far-fetched that number 1 could, in a lot of cases, be from finances, stress, drinking, substance, or you just, this ain't after dark, but you need a distractions. The man or woman may feel that they're not supplying, and if someone comes and says something, they wind up not too far-fetched. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
If 2 people come into a union financially secure, the finances should be the least of your worries. The least of your worries. And that's primarily, you literally summed up the book. The book is instrumental, and I believe in the front of the book it says this book is $100 and it'll save you $7,000 to $10,000 from getting a divorce. Reading this book will save it breaks down step by step how to leverage home ownership, how to speak about finances. I bet you, and this is not after dark, and we're not talking about dating, and I know we're still on the trajectory of generational wealth. People on the first date need to talk about and be transparent about finances. I don't want to wait till we're in a year in to find out that you have a 400 credit score. I don't want to find out a year into dating that you don't have any savings, that you have bad spending habits. I don't want to find out a year into our marriage. And I most certainly don't want to marry someone that has financial issues either. That's a red flag. So if you're really intentional about having these conversations early on, and you're really intentional about how to build wealth, you're really intentional about how to strategize finances, you can get divorced from it. I'm not telling you you're going to meet Prince Charming who doesn't cheat, but you sure as heck won't have an issue about finances if you guys do it right.
And if he does, you got your own home to go to, and instead of worried about
deuces. Simple as that. Simple as that. So again, the passion comes around education. The passion comes around putting information and tools, breaking it down on how to do it. And I'm not better than anyone. I'm not any better than anyone. I just like to apply. I like to learn. I like to apply information, and I want to change the narrative. I'm the first generation in my family. My family, my parents are immigrants from Haiti. I am American born. I'm a product of Haitian American immigrants. I want to be able to change the narrative in terms of what generational wealth looks like. My parents didn't believe in life insurance. They don't believe in that. They don't believe in, and not to say they don't believe in generational wealth, because my parents taught me how to be hard workers. They taught me how to, if you have $1, save 10 cents. And I hold that dear to me to this day. But I also want my children to be able to be able to have that instilled in them as well. And I want my great grandchildren, and my great grandchildren to have access to wealth. I want to leave a legacy behind. And I think the idea of legacy building is something that we're lacking as a community, and we need to change that narrative. We really do.
There's just so much here, and I got to jump in what Uncle Thaddeus said. He said, now I know why a lot of brothers are single. But no, so to all the brothers and sisters out here right now, if you're thinking marriage and I put up a post the other day about what is your list? And if you get older, does your list decrease? And so one of the things that definitely needs to be on the list is you need to get a house. And we got to get away from this thing that if the woman's asking about their financial status, she's a gold digger.
Nope.
If the man is asking about it, he's a player or trying to come up on a sister. No, I'm being intentional about whoever I'm laying the foundation.
Absolutely.
When I find the one, or they find me, how it happens, we're good. This and
it's always that, like, I don't want people in my business. I don't want this and that. Listen, if I can't have a transparent, authentic conversation with you, if we can't be adults about who we are, then you
early on
everything I needed to know about you, pretty much.
And that ain't only a red flag. I saw some meme the other day where somebody said a preacher can take anything and make it a sermon. We need to stop before the red flags. Yellow flags are out there for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Slow down before it becomes, because by the time it's a red flag,
right, it's already too late. Absolutely.
Miss Joanna, I'm not an indicator for me for a good guest is I leave tired. And I am exhausted. And to Thaddeus' point too, because let's be clear, communication or lack of another reason for divorce, and that communication early on about your. Listen, Belinda, it's hyperlinked for y'all. Sorry to cover your face, but if you all want the link to the book right there, you can either go directly there from Amazon or you can go to Alex's website. I would encourage you to go to Alex's website so you can get those hits and then go get the book. Actually, it's better for folks to get it from his website, right? Because you don't get that overhead from Amazon. Belinda, good look.
Yeah.
Good look, Belinda. But and on Amazon, is it available on Audible and things like that?
Audible, not yet. We will have it on Audible soon, but you are able to purchase the book, and I encourage everyone to go to the Mortgage Before Marriage website, because you're able to get goodies along with the book. You get beautiful packaging, and you might get a free gift, whether it's a mug, a planner, and some other additional.
What if they put in the line they ordered from Watching Java with Jimmy?
You might get a bit of a discount. Hey, Alex, drop a comment below if you.
Alex, you make the decision there. If they put code JAVA, no, I'm just messing. But no, seriously, especially if you are really marriage minded right now, you might need to read this and reshift and put. And the other thing is, and this is just my own observation, school of thought. If we occupy ourselves more with building us. And I'm actively learning this. You build us, and then they will come.
They will.
And that way, y'all both will be ready. So I'm in that look at myself situation now.
So Thumbprint Cares is all things encompassing breaking the generational curses of poverty and creating generational wealth. We're nowhere near being done. As we are growing as an organization, we are creating more of a buzz. We are getting more sponsors, and we are making our events bigger. It will be beyond the backpack giveaway and beyond our Christmas tour giveaway this year. This past year was the first time we did our turkey our turkey giveaway as well. But we're looking, and we collaborate a lot with our village initiative. Our village initiative is a supportive collaborator that we have that's also a nonprofit. And every month on the second Tuesday, they host what's called Building Black Wealth. And we have someone come on every month just talking about different ways to build wealth as a community, whether it's, how to pay off student loans, how to budget, everything I talked about. And so we're everything about generational wealth and how to build Black wealth. Please follow Thumbprint Cares on Facebook, follow Thumbprint Cares on Instagram. We have a lot of information, and we're just so happy to be able to have the platform to be able to talk about what we do, to be impactful. And we look forward to seeing everyone on Saturday. Again, it's a great time, and I want to see you, Jimmy, not just for the Double Dutch.
I'm
definitely
going
to come to the event, to engage, just to see how we get down. It's always a lot of fun. It's always very well animated. We engage with the community. It's always a great time.
I'm looking forward to being there. And also, Alex said that if you mention either Java or he said, yes, mention Java and mention Thumbprint Cares, and they'll let you know what that discount or what will come with your package or whatever. But, and y'all parents out there that's trying to get the baby, the last one in the house, buy this book for them. And that might stop them from coming back to the house.
Yeah, and we've also had the opportunity to speak at Harvard University, Tufts University, Salem State, Mass Bay Community College. All of these different schools reached out to actually teach a curriculum to their students about the benefits of homeownership. So it doesn't just stop, it doesn't have to just stop with that. We're in schools. We're trying to branch out to more places in our community to educate, because the book is just so fundamental in being able to provide real information.
There's a resource I want to mention to you as well. The young lady I had on yesterday, Toya Washington, she has a gaming company called the Masters Tools. And one of the card game that she has is called Roll to the Mill. It's a card game that I'll send you the link and information, because if one of your events or even coming up with something just because of the partnership, you two connected, I think would be ridiculous. I could also see it being one of the gifts or whatever that you all give away, because it's a quick card game. It teaches young people about wealth. There's another piece on there where she has one game that's called oh God, I forgot. It's called Hello to the Colonizers or something. So I'll send you the website. You're gonna love this, sister. So
and this is the young lady you had on your show yesterday.
Yes, if you get a chance.
Is she local?
She's born and raised in Dorchester, former organizer, advocate. I can connect y'all. She does. I think she mentioned something was going on Saturday that she's doing a pop-up somewhere. But that Roll to Mill card game, I'm sure you and Alex would love it. And I could see the dual support and collaboration and whatnot, because that particular card game is teaching young people about wealth and whatnot. So I'll get you the link shortly when we get off of here via email. Joanna, I really appreciate you being here with us this morning. I am inspired. I'm on my road of home purchase. I've been advised to kind of wait until the market drops a little bit. My philosophy is, if the original loan is at this rate, yes, I can refinance later, but why don't I wait to get a smaller first original loan?
Listen, there's a saying I heard that said, don't wait to buy real estate and wait. I'm just saying, that's all. I mean, if you're going to wait till the interest rates drop, I don't know what the future holds. And a lot of people say that, man, I wish I bought a home a year or two ago. And they said the best time to buy a home was 5 years ago. So when you say wait, I don't know. I can't predict the future, but I always heard this term, you buy real estate and wait. You don't wait to buy real estate. But either way, you have a contact whenever you're ready.
I did. Last time I saw Alex, we were actually talking, and I told him I was going to reach out with him and Taylor, and I'm just, oh God, I just got to bite the bullet, make the decision. Hopefully Thaddeus isn't on, because he'll start commenting about, yeah, I've been telling you. But no, I really appreciate you, Joanna. Folks, don't forget, I am going to pop up. I've had guests on and said, I'm going to try to make it, but no, I'm going to pop up here. Folks, please go and support this. There is no register. Let's just highlight. There is no registration
First come, first serve. We do encourage the children to be present because there are so many.
And hold on, because I've done this before. Encourage, or they have to be, because folks will hear this and be like, she didn't say that they had to be here. She said we encourage. So can we
children must be present. Children must be present. It is a child-friendly event. Children must be present to actually receive the backpacks. Okay. And that's a strong children must be present. It's on the flyer. Children must be present to receive a backpack.
I'm looking out for you.
There's no gray area. Children must be present. I've
done this with Jive Boston before, and it's we love performing a labor of love for our community. We'll just leave that at that.
Love a labor of love, even though it's not received that way, we still like to pour into our communities because it is about the intention to give back. It is not about the reactions that we received. It's about the ability to provide and give back to our community. And I will take that any day. Yes. I will take that any day, regardless of what the reactions are. I love what I do. I love what my board members do. I love what my community members do. I want to shout out to the Thumper Cares board, Shirley, our Belland, who is our community liaison, Taina Vilmi, who is our VP, Denisha McDonald, Charles Edwards, and Marie Ferme, Miriam LeBron. Thank you all for what you do. You are the cornerstone and the foundation and the backbone of Thumper Cares. So thank you so much.
A lot of them are in the room. Look. I don't know if you saw the comments, but one or two things. Either you two are in sync together or Alex is prompting you to name the board.
I know. Yeah.
She was already ahead of you, bro. So, sis got it. She got it. So I really appreciate you. Look forward to seeing you on Saturday. And I really believe that there'll be some other opportunities for us to talk more in an after dark. I would love to talk to you and Alex. Like in an after dark sort of piece with maybe some couples or whatever.
Let's do it. I will hold you to it. Let's do it. There's so much we want to share, so much to talk about. And even like just to throw it out there, the way we met, Alex and I met on Match.com.
So that's
for after dark, but just to throw it out there, Match.com.
Yes, I'm gonna leave that alone. Nikki, we're going to end with a resource. I'm going to put this up 1 second. Call the office. This young lady is my sister, and she's mentioning something about she's waiting on a grant from the state and a holdup. So Nikki, call the office at that number 857-919-1330. Let them know that you heard from Joanna here. This is the care side that we're talking about today, but call the office for the real estate side to get that question answered.
Yeah, the city of Boston has a lot of money to offer. Shirley Pratt to come, but the Boston Home Center, just to put out there, the Boston Home Center, the city of Boston, Google the Boston Home Center. There are a lot of resources for home buyers and existing home owners in the community. If you are seeking financial assistance for a home that you currently own, or if you're looking for financial assistance to currently purchase, the Boston Home Center. I encourage you all to go on that website. I don't work for the city of Boston. They are not paying me to advertise for them. Unfortunately, they don't have a budget to advertise. So I want to put the information out in this community so you can take advantage of it.
All right, Mr. Waiter, I'm going to get off of here before I can talk about that, because we talk about often that these entities and whatnot want to get the information out. Hello. Folks do more than watch channel 4 and 5 where you do your media buys. Folks are tuned in right here on Driving with Jimmy. Spend that $5,000 budget here. With that being said, I'm going to get you off of here before we.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a blast.
Yes, ma'am. This was good. I really appreciate you. Give Alex my best. He's listening, but he can hear. Please give him my best, and I will see you on Saturday.
See you.
All right. Thank you, folks. Listen. If you just jumped in at the last minute and was not able to get the entirety of this interview, if you have any interest in giving back, if you're thinking about getting married, if you're thinking about getting married, if you're going to buy a home, if you also need, some school supply assistance, show up on Saturday to this event, of course. But these last 2 days with these Black women who are Black business owners, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Hold on. Let me see. There's a way that I'm going to be able to find out who's on tomorrow. Watch. Hold on. Tomorrow is Wednesday. It's We Need to Know Wednesday on August 16th. I I can't enter the studio, so I can't see it. I want to do better. Anissa, are you still around? Anissa is still around. We have another Black-owned business that's being highlighted tomorrow. That's what we're doing this month. We're highlighting Black-owned businesses for Black-owned Business Month, which is this month of August. And so we'll have another Black-owned business with us tomorrow for We Need to Know Wednesday. Also, tomorrow is this is terrible. Today is the 16th, 15th. So tomorrow's the 16th. Be with us tomorrow at 9 a.m. and you'll be in store for another informative conversation here in the Java Cafe with Java with Jimmy. Thank you all for tuning in today, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Please share this with someone.